Bulls Nation. This was the start, the very beginning of the second half of the season where we push and push and push towards that playoff contention. And today we face the Philadelphia 76ers. And to be honest, this game was one of the most disappointing games you could ever ask for the start of the second half of the season. The All-Star break is done. We were excited to watch our team. Our players were coming back. But the Bulls provided a massive letdown, and it was extremely disappointing. But without further ado, let's go into more detail about the Chicago Bulls versus the Philadelphia 76ers in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls versus Philadelphia 76ers game reaction. The Chicago Bulls kicked off their second half of the season today against Philadelphia, and by a massive amount they fell very short in today's game in one of the worst losses of the Chicago Bulls season by far. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls today, the player of the game for today's game for the Bulls, and overall, what were your concerns about today's game? Because there were a lot of concerns that really crept into the Chicago Bulls, almost like it was the beginning of the first half of the season against the Atlanta Hawks, the Indiana Pacers. Those two games we got absolutely demolished with turnovers and screens, points in the paint. We couldn't defend anything, and it almost looked like the exact same team in those starting two games that we saw in today's game against the Philadelphia 76ers. The score for this game was 127-105. The Philadelphia 76ers conquered the Chicago Bulls by 22 points without Ben Simmons and without Joel Embiid. First things first, I said in my last video for the Chicago Bulls Weekly, that if I was to see the Bulls lose this game, I would be incredibly upset, because this is a golden opportunity with two All-Stars out for the Philadelphia 76ers to go and get a victory. A very important victory as well, if I do say so myself, for the Chicago Bulls. A momentum victory, something to kick us off into the second half of the season and do it right. We've got all our players back. Larry Markkinen had a great game today, and we ended up pushing forward, keep on striving, and really push for where we want to be. And this was by far the most disappointing Bulls performance I've seen all season. It's almost like it was the complete opposite. It was almost like this game was a preseason game in many ways, where we lacked defensive presence. We didn't really come out ready for this game. It looked like we had an entire off-season of rest in that game, when Philadelphia has been playing every single night, it looks like. And the fitness levels really showed in that retrospect. The players that came in for Philadelphia that don't normally have terrific games came to the United Center, the place where the Chicago Bulls struggle, to be honest. They struggle at home. And they absolutely looked leaps and bounds better than all of our players. Wendell Carter Jr. pretty much lost that center position battle to a third-string center for the Philadelphia 76ers that gets no game time. It's as simple as that. Dwight Howard dominated with the Philadelphia 76ers. Tobias Harris had a great game. They simply could not guard anything, the Chicago Bulls. And offensively, second chance opportunities, we gave away way too many of them. Turnovers, we simply could not get the ball with efficiency to our players to get buckets. We consistently turned the ball over today. It was almost like watching that Atlanta Hawks game. It was like watching that OKC Thunder game. All those games where you think about those turnovers. The Bulls today were back to that same old team with the turnovers of the team. It was frustrating to watch. And what's so frustrating about this is that the turnovers happened with everybody. You can't target one individual person as the main reason why these turnovers didn't happen. At the end of the day, every single player was responsible for turnovers today. And it was just frustrating in that way. This was the most frustrating game I've watched all season with the Chicago Bulls. And trust me, imagine watching this game on your way to uni to go to a class, and you start off a class with the end of that game down by 20 points, watching your team struggle to keep the ball every single time. Trust me, this game for me was absolutely frustrating. But I tried to keep my cool from then, and now I'm trying to keep my cool here, because I know this is the first game after the second half of the season. We still have a long way to go. But this was not a good first impression, and if this is the sign of what's to come, the Bulls will not win many games in this second half of the season. So all I'm asking for the Bulls now is to have a little bit of pride. You got absolutely belted by third stringers for the Philadelphia 76ers. Players that don't play well, players that average 3 points per game on their team, came came in and dropped 20 on you, came in and had double doubles on you, came in and scored effectively on you. There needs to be an element of pride in what you just witnessed today. There needs to be pride in the next game to go and bounce back and to show the Chicago Bulls fans all around the world that that is not the best that you can play, that you could do 10 times better than that. And that's what we need to see. We need to see players have a little bit of pride, have a little bit of backbone, and go out in the next game and prove your worth to this team. Because that is an embarrassing game. And I'm not going to hide by the fact that we are very close to 500. I'm not going to hide by the fact that we've had good results recently. That's not an excuse for a performance like this. And it's not even that they didn't have Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons. It's the way that we played. I'm not bothered about how they played. They played terrifically well. And it just shows that depth in a team really is everything. Something I thought we have. Something I still believe we have. They proved it in abundance with their team. That they don't need Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons to win games. And they did it very comfortably against us. And I'm sure they could do it against other teams as well. But the Bulls need to find pride. And the Bulls need to know what just happened to them, and they need to bounce back with it against a Miami Heat team that will have players, their star players, playing in that game. It's going to be tough, but we just got punched in the mouth pretty much. We got hit in the face. Are we going to retaliate? Are we going to let other teams continue to hit us in the face? Let's go to individual performers. There's not too much I'm going to name here. I'm basically going to name the players that I thought that did well. Everybody else, just not good enough. First things first, Larry Markkinen, 23 points and 4 rebounds. Larry Markkinen, I don't think missed a 3 today. I thought Larry Markkinen, this is the best return he could have asked for. Not missing a shot. He looked up for it. Defensively, he got some blocks in there as well. He did very, very well in my opinion. And this is the best representation of what Larry Markkinen can do. He's back now. This is the first game back. Hopefully he doesn't miss another game this season because we're going to need him. At the end of the day, this team struggled, and that's not Larry Markkinen's fault. I hate the fact that we didn't play Denzel Valentine and Ryan Arcidiacono more. They've been playing all season, but we pretty much forced them out for Otto Porter, who I thought had a terrible game, by the way. I know it's his first game back, but using your bench squad that's been playing this entire time, taking them out for someone that's rusty and giving them 18 minutes and them not performing, there needed to be something done about that. Larry Markkinen, that wasn't the case. He played 28 minutes, did very, very well. I'm very happy to see that, and hopefully he can continue to do that and prove his worth to this team if he wants a contract next season. Zach LaVine, 19 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. I think this is the first time in a long time Zach LaVine didn't crack 20 points. I thought he struggled today. Playmaking-wise, at the end of the day, he got his players open because he was guarded very, very well. I think teams are really starting to figure out how to guard Zach LaVine. They're pressing him with the ball. They're also blitzing him off the pick and roll. Sometimes they're even doubling him off the pick and roll. So it's very tough for him to get his own shots. So he's forcing other players to do the work for him. And besides Kobe White, Larry Markkinen, and Thaddeus Young, no one else really stepped up to the plate offensively and helped score for this team. So it's frustrating to know that he's trying to get players open and players are not stepping up to the occasion in a consistent manner. We have good players, yes. We have good scoring options, yes. But it's not balanced. That's one thing I always said I was very happy with this team. The balance of scoring in this team was really good from the bench to the starters. Look at today's game. Patrick Williams only had 4 points. Wendell Carter, 8 points, but he got bullied every single time in that paint. He wasn't good enough. Satoransky, 8 points. Most of them came in the fourth. Temple, 2 points. Otto Porter, 3 points. No consistency. Kobe White had 18 points, 4 assists and 2 rebounds. There you go. That's all I need to say. He had more the points than anybody else off that bench in the starting lineup besides Larry Markkinen and Zach LaVine. Those two players need help. Kobe White helps. Who else? There's no one else that stepped up, and that's a big concern. And honestly, the guards, I thought the guards were poor. Even the ones where Zach LaVine, Kobe White, they had good scoring games. I thought all the guards today were really, really bad. None of them fought over screens. None of them showed any physicality in today's game. It's frustrating to see that every single time you're getting screened out of every single possession, and the guards need to do better to push over those screens, to go over those screens, and the centers need to help, give their help. If they're beat, help them. And it's frustrating because we didn't do any of that. The pick and roll defense today was abysmal, and it's frustrating to see. I'm going to keep my cool. I'm not going to go any more into that. We'll just leave it at that. And Thaddeus Young had 14 points, 2 assists, 8 rebounds. I'm not going to mention anybody else. Thaddeus Young was big in the second half. That's all I could really say on the matter. I think we're going to move on. He had a decent game, as usual. The must improve, I don't know. It's really tough because there are a lot of players that I could say must improve. Wendell Carter had a double-double, but I still feel like he just got absolutely destroyed in that center position today. All of our centers did. Luke Cornett got destroyed. Daniel Gafford got destroyed. I know he had some good plays in that game, but ultimately Dwight Howard had 18 points and 12 rebounds or something like that in that game. And he was coming off of the bench. And their starting center, I don't even know his name. Hold on, let me see if I can find him real quick. I think it's his name. No, that's not him. Yeah, I don't know his name. But anyway, I think his name is Tony Bradley. That's his name. I thought he played very well over Wendell Carter. And that's a guy that barely got any minutes. And I apologize for not knowing his name, but he really played well for the Sixers. So I have to give him credit as well. I think there's a bunch of people that need to improve, so I'm going to target everybody, all of the Chicago Bulls, because even the players that did do well, there was some very bad negatives in this game for every single player in this game involved, and that's why you lose by double digits. That's why you lose by 22 points. That's why you get blown out by Philadelphia without Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. The whole lot of this team did not play well. And it's frustrating. And the player of the game I will give to Larry Marketing because he didn't miss a three. He was the only real offensive threat consistently for this team. Zach LaVine had 19. That's good. That's at the end of the day, they guarded him well. He got his plays open. And he's not going to get every single game above 20 points. That's just not how it works. Not every single player could do that. Kobe White had 18 points. That's expected of him. But these two players I don't think played very, very well. And I thought Larry Marketing played well. I really thought he did. So he's my player of the game with 23 points. And the Bulls need to do much better than this. The Bulls record now is 16-19. 3 games away from 500. We do have some tough games to come ahead. So this could go very downhill very quickly if we don't get our act together. And we have a back-to-back today after this game. And that game is against the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat. They've had a very difficult start towards their NBA season. And I believe they also were part of a back-to-back from today's game against the Orlando Magic. So they have the exact same situation as us. There's no excuses now. If the Miami Heat come in and walk over us like the Philadelphia 76ers are, then this is beyond acceptable. They beat the Orlando Magic in today's game. So they're going to be coming off very confident. Jimmy Butler should be playing for that game. I'm sure he would want to do very well against his former side in the Chicago Bulls. At the end of the day, these are the things the Chicago Bulls need to manage. We just got off of an embarrassing performance. If they don't show pride, if they don't show that they care, if they don't show that they want to win games, and they lose this game, and lose it convincingly at that. If they lose, they lose. But if they lose convincingly, then I'm going to have a big issue with this team. You can't get walked over like that against the Philadelphia 76ers with no All-Stars and do the same thing with the Miami Heat. It's time to bounce back from that. It's time to show the pride that I've been talking about. We need to show pride in that next game. And that's going to be the end of this video. I'm sorry if this is a negative one. I'm sorry if I got off topic. I'm sorry if I sound frustrated. But at the end of the day, when you watch every single game for this team, I hate, and I've been experiencing it for so long with this team, I hate when teams come in and just bully you out of everything and just take your lunch money, pretty much, like Stacey King likes to say. Take your lunch money and you can't do anything about it. You just have to watch it happen. I hate seeing my team be like that, and it's frustrating and it's difficult to watch. But I'm going to push through it, as will most of you guys. I'm sure most of you watch these games. If you don't, I'm sure most of you keep up with these games because you care. And I care as well. And that's why maybe my reaction isn't what you like to hear, but it's a true, honest reaction. And that's something that means something to me. I want to give my opinion and I want to express my frustrations with this team. And that's just the loss that I can't accept as a Chicago Bulls fan. So I don't want to see it happen again. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. It is just one game, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be in a much better mood with the Chicago Bulls. Hopefully we walk away against the Miami Heat with a victory. Take care and peace.